What's going on, guys and girls? It's Ghost Robo, and welcome to Knights and Dragons, an incredibly popular free-to-play mobile game. I'm currently playing on my iPhone 6, and I'll let you know straight off the bat that yes, this is a sponsored video, but the reason I did this is because I wanted to dip my toes into the mobile gaming waters and see why these things are so darn popular. Try to figure out why stuff like Clash of Clans, Knights and Dragons, and all of these free-to-play games are really rising to the top of the iPhone charts, the Android charts, and just kind of gaming in general. The industry is veering in so many directions right now, whether it be VR with Oculus and Morpheus, whether it be giant open world stuff, Witcher 3, AC Syndicate, Batman Arkham Knight, and then this whole phenomenon of kind of on-the-go, mobile, free-to-play, build your own empire, build your own characters, build your own city style of game is something that I've never, ever experienced. So, we're going to see what it's all about. I've played this game for a while, and I can tell you that right off the bat, I kind of understand why they're very popular. There's something quite cathartic slash comforting slash calming about just clicking and having progress happen. Like, this game obviously does require you to build up characters and craft armor and select different things and organize your armada to best defeat these different villains, but it's kind of more passive than what I'm used to. You know, you play BioShock, you play Tomb Raider, and you're used to kind of just doing everything. Here, though, it's a little bit different. It's much more about just kind of clicking and watching stuff occur, and then creating cool characters, and seeing your progress just grow and grow and grow. Like, the curve at which you improve is kind of fun, and I see how, like, in spare moments, when there's not a whole lot going on, you could be very entertained by something like this, Knights and Dragons. And I've leveled my character up to level 10 and beyond here, and I spent a little bit of money just diving into some of the extra stuff, like the crystals you can buy to build better armor, because I wanted to see how that affected the game, what it was all about. And there isn't a whole lot to it, right? Like, the systems aren't super deep, but what is here is very fully fleshed out, and again, it's like one of those things that you're not here because, oh my god, it has the greatest story ever told, but you're here because there's something, like, quite oddly cathartic about tapping the screen and then watching your created characters go to work and do a good job. I've got a special attack here, we'll unleash it. You can see I've equipped amulets and rings, I've got different armor. My main Ghost Robo character is in the front, and then I've got some recruited helper knights in the back there. We're fighting a boss right now, and we should be able to handle it without a whole lot of trouble. It's a very quest-focused game. You're given a whole bunch of quests, and then as you accomplish them, you're building up your base, you're building up your characters, you're acquiring new rewards, and it has a constant loop. And this is probably why, like, stuff like Destiny is so dang popular, because you're constantly just going through and improving yourself, and then finding new ways to dig out little bits of loot and little bits of improvement for your squad. What's this message say? Aw, did some gremlins steal your little wizard's precious wand? That was super rude of them. I'm going to start writing them a strongly worded letter of reprimand right away. Some of the side stuff is a little bit goofy, but there is story here in bits and chunks if you want it. I kind of skip over that because I'm more here for the clicking, honestly. I found myself laying on the couch after a bunch of work and just enjoying going through and beating these levels and completing stuff. Like, the actual act of finishing stuff and then moving to the next, I don't know. There's something, like, inherently super satisfying about that. This guy right here looks like he is a pretty interesting boss, the Incubus, and if we beat him, we can win the Diebuck Shroud. Alright, let's fight this guy with my current party. Sounds like a plan. I think we can probably take him. I'm not going to hire nobody. Just gonna roll with what we got and fight this guy. Now, I do have some super armor. You're seeing right there I'm wearing one of the armors I got via a special key that I bought with crystals. And I will say that you can kind of leap the curve quite a bit if you do put money in. And that gives you one of two things. Like, either you love it because now you're just wrecking, or you feel like, holy crap, I wish I didn't do that, because then I would have been able to have a more even curve. But at the same time, it allows you to shift yourself, like, beyond a bunch of the early stuff and kind of start climbing towards the higher rewards. And you're constantly gaining things, and I think that's what keeps it very engaging and why people keep playing this. There's all sorts of sweet armor, and I gotta give them credit. Like, the art design on a lot of these armors is pretty darn awesome. Like, that was my biggest complaint with Destiny, is I don't like the look of the stuff, but, like, I want to be freaking this one one back, the black kaleidoscope armor, I want that. And I've got 101 gems here, or crystals, or whatever they're called. So let's dump those in so that we can hopefully get something cool. I'm going to buy, let's see, I'm going to open this chest. Ooh, baby. And they got the little animations that kind of keep you all hooked. A rare ring, which gives you plus 146 defense. We'll buy another one. I really want some new armor. Can I have an armor set, please? Ooh, super rare Monk's Vestments armor. Interesting, alright. And then, once more with feeling, another super rare armor set. This one is the Steam Wizard's Robes. Congratulations, you spent 50 crystals, so then you gain armor there. Alright. Fusion armor. Okay, I'm not going to equip that now because I'll go do that with you. But we can scroll through and there's a bunch of different chests of different values, and some of this stuff looks pretty sick. And even though like all you're doing is clicking and fighting the battles, I don't know, like building up a little mini army of your own and naming them and picking the way they look is pretty darn fun. You also get these random chance chests through completing quests that you can get keys. Got a little locket there, a luminous loop. I'm going to do another battle, and then I'll show you guys more of the character customization and whatnot. So we'll collect that. You can read through all this stuff, and again, there is recurring characters and whatnot, but I kind of prefer to just skip over it and see what they want me to do. Let's go to Thieves' Cove here. Ghost is back wearing her like sea serpent armor here. Their armors are elemental, and then that determines which kind of rings and amulets you can attach. We'll get into that though in a second here. I should be okay though, because each area has, I want to say 5 different levels. I mean, you kind of go through basically like an easy version of the area and encounters, all the way up through an epic version of the encounters where things are much more challenging. And I have had my characters die. I have had my main character go down, because the way it kind of works is it's like next man up type thing. So whoever, once they go down, your next soldier will be called upon. And Ghost has definitely, she has fallen. What is this danger here? Uh-oh. I could fight this guy again. Let's do it. Let's do it again. Put on my best stuff, and we're ready to go. Ghost and Brick are my 2 favorites. I just acquired the new Water Knight in the back. And throughout the game, you will be picking up more Knights. But I really love my freaking armor that I have on right now. It's pretty darn epic. Sometimes, like, you know, the characters themselves look a little bit generic, but I found that the monsters and then the armor really makes up for it. And then just gaining all that loot. Again, like all these games, whether it's Candy Crush Saga, whether it's, you know, whatever, like, I feel like just the little thing of, like, falling into this lull almost. Like, there's something calming about it. And as someone with anxiety, I found it oddly very, like, serene to play here. One more win. Alright, but anyways, we don't got time for that. Gotta resume my fight here at the Cove side, fighting against a weird wannabe Ghost Robo, and then, like, Davy Jones' dirty stepchild here. My guys just laughed their way to victory. There's a boss of each area that's a little bit stronger, but again, the gear I've got has kind of made us impenetrable. And again, depending on if you do spend real money or not, you'll have a different experience, and you don't have to do that because the game does reward you with plenty of loot. So I was doing perfectly fine up till about level 8 without any purchase at all. You can totally play this game that way, which is important. And I don't know if it reaches a point where that's no longer viable. Like if you get to a level where, hey, I can't make progress, then that would be a problem. But at least what I've seen, it doesn't work. Or it does work thus far. You can just kind of play and not have an issue. Okay, so there's different armors you can craft here, and they require resources as well as gold. But one thing you'll notice is that the armors I can craft up here, the Seafoam armor is of decent strength and defense, but the ones I'd really like to craft are more in this back half, especially that Dragon Flame armor looks pretty sweet. I just don't have the Crimson Dragon scale requirement for it. Let's real quick, before we continue on our quest, let's go back to my menu. I want to show you guys my knights here. So this is Ghost, and you can see that she's currently wearing the Snakeskin armor, but I could put on that Lunar Vanguard armor that you saw that basically triples her attack and defense. Now, Snakeskin armor is something that I did unlock through the regular progression of the game, so I'm going to wear it for now just so it makes more sense. But this thing that I was using against the boss, it's like an incredibly rare and incredibly awesome piece. It's beautiful. And you've got rings here that do things like give you extra health. I could put one on that gives me more attack instead, and I think I'll do that just to boost her damage a little bit. Then you've got amulets. I've got a health amulet on, so that's totally cool. From there, though, you do see that we have Brick and Hydro. Brick is kind of suffering in the equipment department. His armor isn't that strong, so let's give him this Monk's Vestments. And he does look a little bit goofy, but his rings and amulets, ooh, this one's nice. Plus 42, plus 13. So again, you kind of want to match their armor to their amulets. And it's nothing like crazy complicated. It's all very simplistic. And I feel like anybody could be successful at this game. But again, that's part of its major appeal, is that, yeah, anybody could be successful at this game. So my characters are ready to go. Just to show you, you can change their appearance. You want to be a boy or a girl at any time. You can modify it. You can kind of change their skin tone if you'd like. You can change their eyes. You can give them different hair. You want to rock some violet hair, you can do that. You want to give them a different look, that's totally okay as well. But let's dive back into our quests here. Wayward 1 has been complete, and again, you're just like over and over again, it's like that feeling when you're in school and you completed a test, you did all the studying, and then you get the grade back, and it's like, yes, 100%. Like, that's kind of the loop that they've provided here, except you don't have to do any of the studying and you don't have to do any of the test taking, you just start getting the stuff all the time. So again, we are kind of pursuing this evil villain here, and that's what all this stuff is talking about. So they want us to go to Thieves' Cove and get Gwen's wand back, so we're going to go there again. And it is repetitive. Like, if that's not your cup of tea, then you will not like this game. And if you're a very hardcore, like, hey, I only play Grand Theft Auto and Madden and League of Legends, like, I don't know that this will be for you. But I found that over the years, when the iPhone first came out, when the iOS store came out, see, this is where they kind of also get you. I don't have enough energy, but I can add energy for a little bit of cost there, which is fine. I'm going to do that just so we can move through this boss battle. But in the early days of the iPhone, I found myself wanting, like, console-type experiences on the iPhone, like stuff I could play and be like, whoa, it feels like I'm playing Game Boy, or I remember, like, Super Monkey Ball on iPhone, I loved early on, and then even stuff like Infinity Blade that was a little bit more console geared, but that's when it started to shift over to be more mobile focused. And obviously these free-to-play games are incredibly mobile focused, but I find that I get more play out of those than I do from the really hardcore stuff, because usually if I'm playing on my phone, it's probably because I have very, like, limited time and very limited access, so I don't want to be sitting there doing, like, some crazy you know, whatever, a crazy big adventure experience. I would prefer to do something that's a little bit more mundane, but can keep me interested. And that's where I sort of think this fits. I don't think it's like to replace your experience with Skyrim, or your experience with Watch Dogs, or your experience, you know, with Dying Light. But I think it could be a supplemental thing if you find one of these that you like, whether it is, you know, one of the ones I mentioned, or this game, Knights and Dragons. I think that's kind of where it finds its home. And ironically, I had no intention of playing this game outside of what I had to do for the video, but I have found myself spending a little bit of time just because I think the armor is pretty cool. And again, there's just something oddly calming about going through and having all of these characters and armor and rings, and you almost feel like it's, I don't know, it's like a micro RPG. You know, like Cookie Clicker, have you ever heard of that game? One of those things that it's like simulating majority of what a big full game would be, and you're just kind of doing like the little parts, except it's fun somehow. There's something interesting about just constantly destroying these guys and getting extra bonuses and using my specials and seeing what enemies we come up against. So again, I'm not trying to glorify this game and say it's like the greatest thing ever, because it isn't, right? There's plenty of shortcomings here. You can see this game is what it is. It wears it on its sleeve. One aspect that I haven't really got into, though, that I will right now, getting some more experience points, and we can cash in the Wayward Wand quest here, is that there is a whole base building dynamic. So back here, we've got all these little spaces that we can kind of buy off. They cost money, but we can buy expansions to our area. So like this one costs 2,000 gold, and then you can rush it. I'll rush it. And then here you can buy different buildings, and these buildings encourage you and support you in crafting the armors and the resources that you may want. So I'm gonna put let's put a dungeon here. What is a dungeon? I don't have enough gold for that. I could get more, and again, all of this is tied in. We're like, hey, buy some gold, get this bonus armor. So they're smart about how they do that. But I've got 18,000 gold, so let's find a building that we could put. How about a crystal conservatory? I don't think I have one of those yet. All right, so we'll build that right there. We'll skip the wait with 2 gems. And then this building, you can see, you can upgrade. It allows you to collect gold, and it will do different things for you. You can go through and look at, where is it? Those are my gold buildings. I want to upgrade these as well, but you can go through and see what you're collecting and how you've collected it and whatnot. This is a fusion place where you can fuse different armor. So again, there are different systems at play here, even if they aren't like fully like console quality. There's arenas, you can compete against other people, and if you guys want to battle against me or sort of join forces, then let me show you right here. Where is it? We can be friends together. My code right there, XBYQDWXCV. If you guys plug that in, or if you already play Knights and Dragons, you can battle alongside me, Ghost Robo. Before we wrap up, though, let's go do one more adventure here. This is the Skeleton's Tomb, a new area, and you can give yourself a little extra health there if you need to potion up. But we will dive into facing off against, eventually, probably a giant skeleton. Let me know what you guys think of this game in the comments down below, what your experience is with mobile games, and which one's your favorite. Are you a Knights and Dragons person? Are you a Clash of Clans person? Boom Beach? Do you play something else? One of those themed ones like Jurassic Park or Star Wars? Let me know, I'm curious, because again, like the main reason I did this, what these games are all about, how they play, and how the experience feels. And frankly, I expected to hate it. I thought I'd walk in here and find a very crummy affair that bored me and bummed me out and frustrated me, but I can say, surprisingly, that I see why stuff like this is really popular and why it has taken a hold of especially younger kids' lives in some cases, or at least their free time. There is definite appeals here, and they tap into a lot of the things that work in bigger games in terms of those loops of fun, those loops of reward, and then those loops of progress. Like, that is really where Knights and Dragons, and I'm assuming a lot of the others, kind of find their niche and find their hook, and why people are so addicted in some senses to them. And again, I'm not trying to say like, oh my god, 10 out of 10, but for what it is, if that's how you're going to review these things, based on what they are. You saw right there, by the way, that even with my special armor, that guy was a heck of a lot harder. So had I had regular, weaker armor, it probably would have been a bloodbath. But for what it is, like, it definitely holds its own, and it definitely has merit. So I'm normally quick to dismiss this sort of stuff, didn't want to do it here, and that's why I thought it'd be fun to check it out. Finally, I've never done any of this stuff, and I thought it would be interesting to share my experience and my thoughts as a hardcore gamer, as someone who's very critical, and as someone who typically dismisses this stuff. Share those feelings and experiences with you guys. So let's tear through this final area here, round complete. We get a lot of XP, and we are making our way towards the boss. Will it be a giant skeleton? What will it be? Make sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And our character is losing health quickly. Will we see a death before the end? We might. As far as I know, there's no like mid-battle health potions or whatnot, so you come in with the health that you have, and it's gonna come down to the wire here. Okay, so it's not a giant skeleton, but it is a creepy Medusa with really googly, gross hair, and we are on our very, very last few points and pips of health there. 10%, I ain't got time for that. I got more like 1% health. Medusa, Medusa, Medusa. Special attack does not finish her off. Okay then, my magic trident of doom doesn't have enough doom in it, and we will turn to bones, but Brick comes through with the killing blow, and I think that is where we'll wrap things up. Guys and girls, thanks so much for watching. Fantastic day. Drink some hot chocolate. Till next time, we level up. Great place to end. We will see you all later.